Hello, my dear friends. How are you doing? Hope you are having an amazing day and not having to deal with drama. Ready for new stories I have for you today? Let's go to the first one. And don't forget to listen to the end of the story, guys, to hear my insights. Enjoy the stories, and don't forget to like and subscribe. And of course, don't forget to leave a comment. Background. I, male 17, live with my parents in a two-room apartment of 40 square meters. For Eastern Europe, where I live, this is a normal apartment. My sister, female 24, used to live with us in the same way. My parents occupied one room, my sister the other. I was not allowed to share a room with her, so I lived in the kitchen and slept there most of the time. 2 years ago, my sister got married and my parents moved into her bedroom, and I was given the living room where they used to live. A few days ago, her husband called me out of the blue and asked where my sister was. No one had informed me of anything, so I said I didn't know. My sister's husband asked if I was sure. Then he called me another half hour later and asked if my sister had shown up. I was concerned and asked what was wrong. He didn't answer me anything. I started calling my sister, but she didn't answer the phone. My parents were at work and did not answer my calls either. In the evening, when my parents came home from work, they were very angry with me. As it turned out, my sister had sent a text message to her husband that she would be with me all day, but she wasn't there. I didn't know my sister was having an affair. I hadn't been told about it, and I didn't know what I was supposed to tell her husband. My parents said I was a traitor. They said that my sister had a fight with her husband because of me, and that if they divorced, I would have to move back into the kitchen. My dad doesn't talk to me, but loudly tells my mom so I can hear that he is disappointed in me, that I should have known to give the right answer to my sister's husband, that I didn't defend my sister, that I am a bad brother and man, and that I did it to get back at my sister because she used to sleep in the bedroom and I'm in the kitchen. I don't know how to convince my parents that I really didn't know what I was supposed to say. Also, my mom said that I will have to call my sister's husband and tell him that I lied and my sister was with me, and then I will have to ask my sister to forgive me, and only if she forgives me, my parents will forgive me. Well, looks like OP's parents and sister's moral compass is broken. OP should never have to lie to cover his cheating sister. Shame on her and OP's parents for defending her instead of coming clean. Looks like OP's sister is the golden child and can do no wrong. The fact that she had a room on her own and OP had to sleep in the kitchen proves that. Why couldn't they share the room? Well, the best course of action for OP is to move out as soon as he turns 18 and never look back. And now let's see if the community agrees with me. Sad Small Chicken says, "Not the a-hole. Jesus, your family has no sense of morals. Get out of there when you get the chance." Final Figure says, "Not the a-hole. I'm really sorry your family sucks like this. You absolutely should not have lied, but I understand you're in a very difficult situation with probably nowhere to go. I grew up in Eastern Europe. I'm in the UK now, so I know how hard life can be there. Your parents clearly favor your sister. We had a 3-bedroom flat, 2 bedrooms and the living room, and 3 of us siblings, 2 girls plus 1 boy, shared one room. Are you going to university after school? Hopefully if you are, then at least you can move into student housing." Bored at Home says, "Not the a-hole. Never mind their twisted morality. How are you to know to lie? Or what to lie? Should you say, 'She was here, she's just gone'? Or 'Yes, but she's in the bathroom'? Or what? You didn't know which lie to use. You cannot be blamed in any way." So my 25 female brother Eric, 35 male, married Mandy, 39 female, about 5 years ago. Mandy has a daughter named Layla, 18 female, from a previous relationship. When I met Layla, we clicked instantly. She was 13 and I was 20, and I felt like I was her big sister, even though she's technically my niece. Well, Layla was at my place and it was a few days before her 18th birthday. I asked her what she was doing for it, and she said nothing much because she has to start looking for a job immediately. I was confused because she got a full ride to our local college, and my brother and his wife do well for themselves. Layla told me her mom and my brother sat down and told her that after her 18th birthday, she has to move out. They told her that she will be an adult, and it's not their job to continue supporting her. At this point, Layla started crying and hyperventilating. I calmed her down, but I was pissed. I told Layla she could move in with me. She was super psyched, and I said we could start moving her in whenever she wanted. Layla went home, and when her 18th birthday came around, she told Eric and Mandy her plan. Mandy was furious and was yelling at Layla that she needs to stand on her own 2 feet. Mandy would not stop screaming and actually lunged at Layla. Eric was trying to calm Mandy down, and Layla went to her room, grabbed her important stuff, and left. She called me and I came and got her. The next day, Mandy shows up at my door and demands to be let in. I told her no. She started banging on my door, and I told her that if she doesn't leave, I'm calling the cops. She left and she sent Layla a text saying she was throwing all her stuff away and called her entitled. Mandy also sent me a text that I was out of line for getting involved in her parenting and that I should have checked with her before offering Layla a place to stay. I told Mandy if she wanted a say in what her kid does, she shouldn't have kicked her out. I also told her I'm a grown woman and I can offer my place if I want to. She started calling me repeatedly, so I blocked her. Eric says I need to just apologize for the sake of peace, but I think that's ridiculous. If anyone should apologize, it should be Mandy to Layla for how she treated her. Mandy is still really mad and is refusing to come to future family functions because nobody agrees with her. She said she will only come if I apologize, so my brother says I'm an a-hole for causing all the problems. What do y'all think? Am I the a-hole? OP's niece is an adult now and can choose to stay with OP. OP has nothing to apologize for. OP's niece's so-called mother made the decision to stop parenting her kid the minute she turned 18, so she has zero say in what she does after that. There's nothing wrong with Layla staying with OP. In fact, it's likely that she'll develop a good sense of independence, and if she does get a job, she'll probably contribute. And now let's hear the community's opinion. Funny Wafer 1450 says, "Not the a-hole. It's too bad that Mandy would rather see her daughter homeless than living with you. What an awful human being. Thank you for taking Layla in." Trumpet Wall says, "Not the a-hole. Your niece is legally an adult that can make her own choices, and they kicked her out of their house. Their opinions don't matter anymore." Welt All 8000 says, "Not the a-hole. Brother and sister-in-law are complete a-holes that absolved themselves of responsibility, yet still want to maintain authority. They're both being jerkbags to other adults while they're trying to interfere in others' lives. I absolutely wouldn't apologize because A, they owe the apologies in the first place, and B, you did nothing to apologize for. Furthermore, kudos on you for doing such a kind gesture to help your niece get her start in her adult life. Very commendable." For some context, my boyfriend was married to his late wife for 4 years and dated 6 years prior to that. They have a son together. I know my boyfriend, whom I'll call Glenn for the sake of the post, was deeply in love with her. They're high school sweethearts who got married in their 20s. He only began dating again like 8 years after her passing. Now, we've been together for 5 years, and I'll admit that at first, I used to be jealous and insecure about Glenn's late wife. I thought that him still loving her meant that he could never love me, and I was just supposed to be her replacement. We actually broke up on our first year and only got together because for the next Valentine's Day, Glenn wrote me a letter professing what he felt for me, and we decided to have a talk. I understood that our love and their love are different, and what he feels for her doesn't undermine what he feels for me. I tried to avoid the "if she were alive" kind of train of thought, because it's hurtful for both him, me, and their son. We're together, and I firmly believe that's what matters now. During the years, Glenn and I have talked about marriage, but with how hectic my career has been and the market surrounding it, I didn't feel comfortable having a deeper talk until now. With the holidays leaving our door, we decided to have a proper talk about marriage and what we want. We decided we want to get married and began talking about what was expected of it. Mid-talk, he stops and says that whatever happens, he's getting buried next to his late wife. Not gonna lie, this took me by surprise. I said there was no need to rush and we could talk about funeral arrangements later. He said we could, but that was done. He said that when his wife died, he already set a double spot for when he passes away. And I kid you not, he said he could give me the name so I could be buried near him. It was as bad as it is, honestly. But me, trying to keep the peace and be understanding, I asked why I couldn't be buried next to him too. He has two sides after all. But he didn't like that. Oh, he didn't like that. I could see it in his face. He didn't say anything else, but it was written all over his face. I just stood up and said I had to go, nothing more. I guess he came to his senses or realized what he had implied, because he called me the next morning. This happened on Thursday, and has texted me ever since. But I know it. This relationship is over. In the end, his always and forever is her, and I get it. I respect it. That doesn't mean I have to like it. The relationship has never been bad. His surroundings is not a constant reminder of his late wife. He's not constantly bringing her up. I know I'm overreacting, but that look, as if me asking was stupid, like there's no way I'll ever share that spot next to him. I'll probably answer him to have a talk next week, but I just know it. This is over. I'll never be able to forget that look in his face. I think OP's feelings are valid. Sadly, it's obvious that he doesn't love OP as much as he still loves his late wife. I also agree with user Rosemary Sage 5, saying that the fact that he brought up funeral arrangements during wedding talk shows that he's not ready to move on. We all deserve the best, and OP deserves to be loved the most and be her significant other's one and biggest love. So I think she needs to give him time and space and find someone new who will love her most of all. And now let's hear the community's opinion. Fun Statistician 550 says, "It's awesome that he loved her so much, but you want to be with someone who loves you as much as he loved her. It's so sad he lost her, knowing he plans his representation of eternity next to her and not you. You made the right decision for yourself." Famous Reception 824 says, "You're not overreacting. With that involuntary facial expression, he told you how he really felt. Of course, he's gonna be nice and tell you blah blah, but the truth is, he's with you, or any other woman, because he can't be with the woman he really wants to be with. Good for you for putting yourself first. I wish you the best." Princess Bella 1 says, "You will always be second best in his mind. Let him find someone who doesn't mind being second best, while you go find someone that will love you the way he loved her. You did a brave thing. It is hard to put yourself first when you love someone. At least he showed you this side of him before you got married. The best of luck to you. You deserve so much better than him." My partner and I have been living together for 3 years now, and everything has been great until recently. Sadly, my grandma passed away a few years ago, and before she did, she gave me her family recipe book. This book was filled with secret family recipes that she trusted me with. I love cooking and absolutely loved my grandma's meals, so this book means a lot to me. The other day, I was looking for a recipe in the book to make one of my grandma's special meals, but to my surprise, the page with the recipe was gone. I searched everywhere and found out that my partner had thrown it away thinking the recipe was wrong. She said she didn't know the recipe book was from my grandma and assumed it was just some old notebook or whatever. I was really upset. She didn't ask me before throwing away something that meant a lot to me. It wasn't just a recipe. It had a piece of my family's history. I tried to explain how important it was, but she didn't care and said I could find another recipe online and that I'm overreacting. I'm struggling to move forward from this. Her being so dismissive of my feelings upsets me. I've never seen her behave this way before. How can I move past this? Edit. She threw away a rum cake recipe. I have no idea why. She liked it when she tasted it before, so the recipe wasn't wrong as she claims. I haven't talked to her for almost 2 days. She's at work now. I'll probably have a conversation with her later when she gets home. I'm so sad and confused. I don't understand why she would want to hurt me like this. Everything was going well between us, and we hadn't argued in weeks, so I'm not sure why she would want to take revenge on me. Icy Paleontologist 123 says, "She randomly threw away one page from an entire book of recipes because she thought it was wrong? What? Is she a cooking instructor? An expert in that particular dish? Was the dish named something offensive or include like sautéed panda? Her explanation makes no sense, and she hasn't apologized for throwing out something that wasn't hers, which is objectively wrong. I'm not sure you should get past it until you get more information from her. Her explanation is really weak." Stony2723 says, "Throw away the girlfriend, and when she asks why, tell her it's not a big deal. You'll just find another girlfriend online." Mag says, "She's definitely lying about this. She probably didn't like the recipe as much as you do and thought she'd get rid of it without you knowing. Why else would she just throw away the one page? Her excuse of it being wrong is very fishy." Update. Since my last post, I talked to my partner about what happened. It turns out she threw away the recipe not because she thought it was wrong, but because she was jealous of my cooking skills. At first, she denied any bad intentions and tried to downplay the importance of the recipe book. But as we talked more, she finally admitted feeling jealous and insecure. It was surprising because I had never seen this side of her before. She said she has always been a little insecure about her own cooking skills. I had no idea. She feels like I outshine her in the kitchen, her words, especially after receiving all the compliments from her family last time we hung out. So, in a fit of jealousy, she decided to throw away the recipe, thinking it would somehow even the score. Needless to say, I was hurt and disappointed. I couldn't understand why she would let her jealousy get the best of her and intentionally hurt me. We had always supported and uplifted each other in our relationship, so this behavior was completely out of character. She apologized and promised to work on her insecurities and jealousy, but honestly, I don't think I can forgive her and move on from this. Bottom 42 says, so a 36-year-old woman, in a fit of jealousy, threw out a very sentimental piece of family history. Instead of using her words like an adult, she thought this was the best course? I would run, not walk away, OP. If not, hide anything valuable in case she gets jealous of something in the future. Specialist Ad says, I wouldn't continue a relationship with someone like her. This isn't over a recipe. It's the fact that she doesn't give a duck.